Hey, what's up YouTube? It's your boy King James here, and if you're like me, you've probably been playing Vanguard like mad, but there's probably a bunch of settings maybe that you don't have set just right, or you're wondering if, is there a way I can get more frames per second, or, boost how the gameplay feels, or maybe you've had some problems like picking other people's guns up, or, having problems reloading, all those types of things. So I've got a best settings video for you on all the things that I figured out in the last couple of days of playing the game, and I've got it for you right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's two random clips I put side by side, and I superimposed the FPS and the FOV down here. And you can see here, look at, I'm getting 100, 80, 90. We're here, I'm getting 120, 130, 126, 127. So I picked up like 30 frames per second. And we just go to some random spots. Look at 86 to 130, 132 to 85. 115 to 97. So I'm consistently getting higher frames per second with these settings. So let me show you what I changed. All right, so go ahead and jump into your settings menu and go over to graphics. And one thing you want to make sure you know is at the top, there's tabs, and this has more settings in it that you need to get to in case you're wondering where some stuff is. So let's start with display. I'm running in full screen, and make sure you set your refresh rate to match your monitor. Mine's 144. VSync gameplay and VSync menus is off. Custom frame rate. I use a custom frame rate just to reduce the taxing on my card. So 144 when I'm in game, 60 when I'm in menu, and 15 when I'm toggled out just to save the impact to my card. So aspect ratio is automatic, display gamma is 2.2, HDR is off, focus mode is off, and then your display adapter should just be whatever your card is. So let's go over to quality, and I use some custom presets. I render my resolution at 100. I don't really want it to be less or more because I find it tends to mess up how my screen looks. Texture resolution. Now this is going to be the biggest one that impacts your FPS. And look at the VRAM usage down here as I bump it up. It went from 17 to 20 to 26 to 44. So this is a huge impact on VRAM, and that impacts frames. Now, texture filter anisotropic, I have high, particle quality medium, particle resolution on high, bullets, impacts, and sprays. I like this on because I like to be able to see it. Shader quality low, tessellation off, level of detail distance, you want this high, so that's where you can see things far away, and level of nearby detail, I have that on high, distance, distant level of detail is on high, clutter draw distance low, volumetric quality is low. So for shadow and lighting, I have this off, and the shadow map resolution very low, sun shadow low, sun shadow cache is on, and cache spot shadows is on, and I have my cache size set to medium because I have this on. I don't want it to be super low just to impact being able to cache. Spot shadow quality is low, particle lighting is on medium, ambient occlusion I have off. Screen space reflection is also off, and NVIDIA DLSS, I've tried in all the settings, I just think off is the best. Fidelity super resolution is off, fidelity CAS is off. So anti-aliasing, I use the Filmic. I just like the way it makes lighting and stuff look better, and I do have it set to really low though, so it doesn't cause too much impact, because I know you get better FPS here, so run this, but run it on low, it just looks better, but that's really up to you. Depth of field, make sure this is off, because that just blurs your background when you're playing. It doesn't really help you. And my VRAM, I tend to keep that around 85. I know you can bump it. I don't really like to, because this is so, how far your RAM will build on your card. You don't want to run this too high. So under gameplay, I run my field of view a little lower in multiplayer than I do in Warzone, only because most of the engagements are really close, so I find that I don't need as wide of a view, and I also use affected, and that's how it zooms in on the screen, so you get less weapon shake and less zoom when you go affected, and I think with the lower field of view, that really works quite nice. Camera movement, I have this as low as I can go at 50%. World motion blur, this is crap, you want this off. Weapon motion blur, you want that off. And NVIDIA Reflex low latency, I have this on plus boost. Now under audio, just a couple of settings. Master volume, I have that normal. I turn the music off. The dialogue at 60 and the sound effects at 75. I just turn those down so they're not quite so high. I run the headphones for the audio mix. And my voice chat, make sure you go and test this and set it to what works for you, because sometimes people are too loud and other people I can barely hear them. So go in here and do a test and make sure you set that up and listen to it, because that's how other people will hear you when you talk. Now for controller, again, it has two tabs, so make sure that you're doing both tabs. And I run a 6.6. I know guys run 5.5 and 8.8 and all kinds of different settings. Just use what works for you here. And the multiplier, I just leave it 1 and 1 for these two. I have custom sensitivity per zoom, and this is something that's brand new. So for all the scopes that are low, you'd run like an AR or an SMG. I have those all at 0.8. And then anything 5 and higher is sort of like a sniper scope. I want them a little faster, so it's easier to, stay on target when they're moving and you're sniping. So button layout, I just use default. I have a Elite controller with paddles on the back, so I use those for some of those extra things. I don't necessarily change my my layout. Now vertical aim, I leave both of these at standard. These here are just invert based on whether you're in vehicles and stuff. Aim response curve, I've been using dynamic for a long time. I used dynamic when I played Fortnite a long time ago, and I think we all found that this is the best because it speeds your movement up when you're in the beginning, but it slows it down at the very end of when you're pushing your thumb over, and that just stops you from making really wild moves when you're panicking. Controller vibration is off, weapon fire threshold is off. ADS sensitivity transition timing, I have this on instant. ADS sensitivity, I just leave it at 1. Stick layout is default. Controller orientation is up. ADS stick swap I have off. So for dead zones, I have my trigger dead zones at 0. You don't want any dead zone on that. This is sort of like trigger locks. I use trigger locks in game, but you want this to shoot as soon as you pull the trigger so there's no delay. And set your dead zones at whatever it is that work for your controller. My controller is getting a little older, so I'm on an 8.8 now. But if you're getting up to like 15 or 20 to stop it from drifting, it's probably time to get a new controller. And my max dead zones, those are both set at 99. Now over on gameplay, there's a couple of interesting things here that are probably driving you nuts that you'll want to change. And targeting aim assist, so this is just your regular aim assist, have this on. This is just for zombies and campaign, so you want to just leave that wherever it is. Weapon mount activation, I have this on ADS pace melee. Weapon mount movement is on. Depleted ammo weapon switch, I have this on, although to be honest, I'm always running like a launcher or something as a secondary right now. Blind fire is on, although I haven't been able to figure out how I blind fire in a game yet. Automatic airborne mantle is off. Mantle while queuing is on. I have automatic sprint on. So I use automatic tac sprint in Warzone, but there's a real delay from when you can tac sprint, so that's your sprint to fire. Tactical sprint to fire is a lot slower than sprint to fire. So if you're always tac sprinting and you run into a guy, if he's just regular sprinting, he's going to be able to shoot before you do. And with time to kill so fast in multiplayer, you don't want to be tac sprinting around, because if you run in, you're going to shoot and he'll shoot you before all of a sudden you shoot, because tac sprint is longer, has a much longer sprint to fire time. Auto move forward I have on off. Sprint cancels reload is on. Sprinting door bash is on. Slide behavior. This is an important one because I just like to tap to slide. I don't want to have to hold it. And you can do slide cancels when you tap again. Sprint tact behavior, I have it on toggle. Aim down sight behavior is hold. Steady aim behavior is hold. Automatic weapon fire behavior is hold. Okay, so this one here depends on how you like to play. For me, my brain holds to reload and taps to interact. It's just the way my muscle memory works. But if you like to tap, then you can do tap to reload, hold to interact, and that'll stop you from picking up other people's guns. So set this to whatever muscle memory you have for how you play, so that you're not picking other people's guns up or opening doors when you're trying to reload. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. These settings have really worked for me when I've been playing, and I've tried out a whole bunch of different stuff. And with multiplayer, I really like to max out FPS. So that's what this is designed to do, is give good graphics setting, but really maximize that FPS so I can get to my monitor's threshold, which with a 3060, let's be honest, that's a card I have to really work to get to my monitor's threshold because it's only a mid-range video card. It's not like I'm running a 3090 or something. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. And as always, if you don't see me in Warzone, if you don't see me multiplayer, Vanguard multiplayer, it's only a matter of time, baby. King James out.